So let's get to the inflation of it all. Stephen, you and I had a quick chat last night with KG about whether it is going to be inflationary or not. Well, economists, like many other things, not of all uniform view. You can find an economist that'll say that extra spending is going to be inflationary. Others that say the way the money is being spent means it won't be inflationary. Without going all the way back to economics at university, explain to us why it's not inflationary.
Look, firstly, budget, you've got to look at the whole budget. You can't look at one individual thing and say, oh, money's being pushed into this area, that's inflationary. You need to look at the whole impact. So firstly, the forecast. The actual forecast is for inflation to come down, and more than the Reserve Bank have actually forecast. So Treasury are disagreeing with the Reserve Bank. Not a surprise, does happen. Sometimes they're in complete alignment. So that's the first
Sack them all and rig a new one, I say.
Interest, yeah, well, like you and I haven't been on a unity tip on this for a while. But back to the budget. So the budget is not inflationary. The increase, the baked-in expenditure, which people have talked about, and they've said there's going to be permanent spending increases, but not necessarily permanent rivers of gold from our exports and our iron ore and coal prices, etc. And therefore you're creating an imbalance there. But this is frankly a rounding error, this argument that people are trying to confect, and it's basically Angus Taylor's talking points. This is a rounding error on the total size of expenditure. Aggregate demand is what actually could potentially drive inflation. And if you look at the aggregate demand calculations, it is a rounding error. So there's been a lot of focus on this, but if people want to be sincere about this, they should be arguing that, Labor shouldn't be giving those inflationary tax cuts to the top end of the tax bracket next year. That would certainly reduce the deficits and reduce pressure on inflation going forward, if that's what you actually believe. No. So there's one measure could do it. I'm not advocating this, and the government is not advocating this, but people have got to actually be honest about this.